You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Clothes for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Imaging Services, Chiro Thin, Universal Tractioning Systems, Chiro Moguls, Zingit Solutions, Dr. Pete Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Rhino Coaching, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Chiro Health USA, Max, Mahalo Wellness, and Chiro Expert. Let's hustle.
Hey, Jim Chester. I got Billy DeMoss over there. He is coming in from Newport Beach at the DCS house out there near his DeMoss Chiropractic Center. I'm coming in from Grand Junction, which is the Grand Valley on the western slope of Colorado, which I like to say it's where no one lives, and I moved here to hear the birds chirp. This episode is self-sponsored by the digital ad agency with Chiro Hustle, but this is more featured on CalJam. And I'm going to flash on the bottom of the screen the CalJam website. If you guys go there, that will help you get some tickets. And if you didn't get any cool merch, get your merch and go over there to the store as well. I just got these cool shirts from Bill and the team. I would show you guys my socks. Well, maybe I will. Here you go.
Socks you got.
You see those?
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah, so got some cool merch. And Billy, your team is really amazing. They send out a patch. They gave me some stickers and a really nice handwritten card. So
cool.
Kudos to the CalJam team for hooking Jimbo up with some new gear.
Some swag.
Yeah, man, so I can look good on these lives, man.
Great.
Everywhere I go, people ask me, what's California Jam?
Yeah, I get the same thing too. So that's all I wear, though.
Yeah, I mean, I keep it Chiro inspired.
Of course. But I'm actually, I want to wear my own stuff. I could wear a different shirt every day if I had to.
Yeah, I'm like, 70-30. 70% of the time I'm wearing CalJam gear.
Well, it's because we have a lot of different stuff. And it all rocks.
It's all awesome, man. Yeah, so the theme of CalJam 2020, I can't believe it's already 2020, is love music, peace, love music, and chiropractic.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about how you decided that this was the year of the revolution for like the love back into it.
Well, to be honest with you, I've been wanting to do this one for a while, but I kind of felt resistance from my team the whole time. Because I'm a team player. So last year wasn't really my idea to do the punk because I've never been a punk guy, but I actually started to resonate with once we started doing it. And the anarchy, which I know because we've been playing a lot real passive lately with resistance against the machine. So I think last year when we stepped it up with kind of a little Rage Against the Machine and some Sex Pistols, I think it really brought about the point that the game is rigged, whether people want to admit it or not. And I think what we're doing is just, I don't know, I think it's futile because of the fact that you can't win when the game is rigged. So I think we just need to step it up. And I'm not saying violence is the way to do it. I'm saying one of the ways, especially with chiropractic, I think we need to start boycotting certain entities that aren't in alignment with our values and philosophies. So, that's just one of the ideas. Again, I'm open to other ideas how we can really push the fact that, people need not stop funding your own demise and suicide. So that's what I think the anarchy in me is trying to get people to understand. Because if we can start hitting them in the pocketbook and hit them financially, then they're going to maybe start to listen to the change in direction. But we've got to get more people on our side. And that's the positive thing. I think what we're seeing is a huge shift in transcendence and consciousness where people are waking up. And I think that's why we're seeing such desperation from their side with especially the forced mandating vaccines and control of the media and especially censorship, which just hits me every day because when you're out in front telling the truth, you're going to get some major resistance, especially from the powers that be.
Yeah, and I know that the Rebel Yell tours last year is absolutely amazing. The place is full of the anarchy idea, but it was full of love too.
Yeah,
I know
of course. course.
And I know that's something that you're leaning on a big time this year. And it's like what is it, Woodstock themed?
Yeah.
I know that, gosh, there's one question that I was talking to Kevin about doing with you, and he kind of loaded this one up for me. But if there was one musician, dead or alive, that you could play with, who would that be?
Oh, it'd be Tom Petty for sure. You know why? Because he's always giving me that positive. I mean, whenever, like, if I'm having a day where I'm beat up or something, and he's always uplifting to me. I mean, I that's what I listened to in the car when I was driving to Joe Dispenza this weekend, when I was coming home from Mammoth. I mean, I'm like a deadhead for Tom Petty. I'm a Petty head. So he's always giving me inspiration. And it's funny because I just signed up for a Facebook page, and they asked, well, why should we let you in the group? Because I've been a Tom Petty fan since 1976, because the first time I heard Breakdown was like, that guy, I just loved his music. So maybe Prince too.
Okay.
I like
these iconic figures that aren't with us anymore.
Right. Yeah, they are both part of the heroin epidemic, the opioid epidemic. Both of them were pretty much murdered by the medical establishment, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think that it's a big thing when you were talking earlier about the schools and who to send money to and who to support, and how did we get to where we are like that, man?
I just think people are pretty much blind to the agenda. I think maybe people watch a little too much TV. I don't think people read enough to educate themselves about the true reality of where we're at as a human race and the destiny of this planet and our sixth extinction. As I was telling you, I was listening to some Bruce Lipton yesterday, and it was refreshing for me to hear that he's actually talking the truth, because, I mean, I don't really go that deep with this stuff. But when you are really been down the rabbit hole real deep, like I do, and read all different sources, because that's what I do. I don't watch TV. I don't have a TV. I don't have a cell phone. I pretty much am into books. And I go into what everybody thinks is conspiracy theory, but it's just all conspiracy truth. I said that once at Cal Jam, and it's just people don't want to accept it as truth, so they want to call it conspiracy theory. But like everything I've talked about, people get on board and they go, dude, I was in so much denial about it before, but now I had a situation yesterday where I had a new patient come in where she had seen me on Dell's show, and she had a 1-year-old baby, and she was here with her husband, and they said, that show got them to do the research that they were supposed to do, and now they're on our side. They came out of the dark side, the pro-vax side. She's an RN. And so that's what I attract in my practice. I mean, sure, I probably scare some people from coming in because I'm a little bit honest, too honest for some people to accept, and maybe I'm a little bit bold, and maybe the way I articulate things might be, but I don't do this because I'm trying to make friends or trying to be buddy, or I'm trying to really change the direction of the planet for, not me, but because I'm 61, I'm having a great time and I'm not going anywhere. But it's just like, you look at these 20-year-olds, and how are they going to raise a family on this planet when, we've got situations where the oceans are going to be depleted of fish in 20 to 30 years, and you've got 5G. And I mean, I don't want to be a negative Nelly, because I think, in fact, I'm very positive that humans, that's why I'm going now for students. It's like I'm going to be speaking at a couple big events coming up. I don't know if they want me to say it, but it's going to be mostly students, and that's where I've started to find that they've got more receptivity to the story than you get these old dudes like me that just don't give a shit. They'd rather watch football and be in denial and, not think that anything has to change. But, they don't have as much at stake. I don't have as much at stake, and I don't have as much at stake for my chiropractic career either. I mean, I've pretty much established, and I've been good about saving money, and so I don't spend more than I make. I've always been that way. I live frugally. I mean, I'm a surfer, so it's like, but I'm really concerned about these kids getting out of school with student loans and $200,000 when we're in a quandary on what direction this profession is really standing for. We see so many people selling our profession for a more medical model, and that freaking paradigm's done, dude. It's the whole mechanistic, friggin' materialistic, Newtonian focus on back pain is so frigging bullshit. And I don't care how much evidence you got. That's not what chiropractic is. Chiropractic's more of a frigging vitalistic, into the quantum, about really getting healing happening on so many different levels that you can't even measure. You know, we don't have the technology, or even we have no way of even discerning what's going on in the quantum world. I say that all the time. And I'm not against science, but I'm just saying I'm not going to wait around for you to prove, or us to prove, why we get such amazing results with kids and ear infections and asthma. It's just like every time I take care of a kid, it works, you know? So it's just, I've got clinical experience and I've seen it over and over and over and over again. And it just happens. It's just, the body's friggin' a self-healing organism. You got to remove the subluxation, usually upper cervical. And then you might have to do some things which aren't chiropractic to some and it's not chiropractic, but sometimes I work with getting kids eating better and, you know, replenishing gut flora and getting them off dairy products and getting the sugar out. I'm doing a nutrition workshop tonight. That's what I like. I was a nutritionist before I was a chiropractor. So what am I supposed to become a chiropractor and not talk about anything, including, you know, I'm a surfer too. Can I not talk about surfing because I'm a chiropractor? I mean, almost sometimes you get into this profession and you feel like your hands are tied because of religious dogmas within our own profession. And again, we have both extremes in chiropractic. I'm just trying to say, if we adjust and we understand the ramifications and the detriment of a subluxation to the innate expression of an individual, and we specifically adjust those vertebrae, why can't we all get along? So that's the other thing I'm trying to get, is more chiropractors that are chiropractors to be a little bit more loving to each other and understanding of the diversity of the practicing styles of many chiropractors. Again, I'm not saying what I do, whether it's hyperbaric. I do that stuff for me, man. I mean, that's where I feel that I know where the puck is going. We're going to have a huge epidemic in this country, and it's already happening in the UK. It's the #1 leading killer in the UK, which is dementia. So you should probably learn some things to do to prolong the life of your brain if you want to be able to think when you get older. So,
And the brain, if people don't know, is the #1 component of the spinal cord, which comes through the foramen magnum, which comes through C1, C2. If those things are jacked, your body's not flowing the way it's supposed to with that innate intelligence like you talk about, Billy. The ADIO principles are vacant from your body. And I think that a lot of times, like when we interviewed you for our last movie, you're talking about like this little child and the vacancy that when they were on a phenobarbital as a baby and what it did for their nervous system and how it shut them down. And, you know, that's the thing, is like people are being led step by step into the paradigm of the sick care model, and they don't even know what chiropractors really do. And I think that that's something really beautiful about what you've done with CalJam, is you started a grassroots movement that's brought people together for one cause, is to get dipped again and to be amongst their chiropractic family and to start accepting each other at such a high level and start understanding who each other are, and stop chasing yourself around in your own brick and mortar. And I think that so many times the chiropractor, they live with their entity on the screen, and they don't jump out of their screen time to go to like where they can go see like the greatest chiropractic movement on planet Earth, which is CalJam. They don't show up. So let's talk a little bit about.
Let me preface it. I don't think it's just a chiropractic movement, and that's why I really want to open it up to the general public. And I mean, I've been entertaining thoughts about, we need to take this thing bigger than where it's at. I mean, 3,000 is not enough people. I mean, we need to get to 10,000 to 50,000. And I'm patient, you know, I kind of happen real bit. We're there, dude. We're like at that tipping point. And that's why, like I said earlier, I think we're seeing such desperation from the other side with the censorship and the freaking just mandates and the brainwashing and the media and all the shit that you see. It's just quite obvious to me that they're acting out of desperation right now.
Yeah, you know, I know you've been how many years? 34 years as a chiropractor?
Yep.
And you graduated from a school out there in California?
Yep. LA, black. And I have no problem saying that. People go, well, why are you so vocal? Because the thing is, if we don't really start to question chiropractic institutions of learning and call them out on their BS, in my opinion, then we're not doing our job as chiropractors. So again, we have to hit them where it hurts. My objective is to starve the cancers in any way that we can and stop sending kids to these schools just because it's geographically easier for them to go to, and stop supporting your own demise. They're more medical, and their whole agenda is moving to medical, and it's moving further and further away from chiropractic, which we know works. And everybody's going our direction now, and then everybody's running the chiropractic schools are running more and get on the Titanic, which is sinking, man. It's just mind-blowing. I mean, you see such a transcendence in consciousness where people are getting the vitalism that we've always stood for in chiropractic, and we're going more mechanistic now, which is kind of, it blows my mind.
Well, I'm going to do a quick pattern interrupt and ask anybody that's watching right now to hit the share button, push the heart button. If you guys are finding value in this, hashtag value into the comments section down there. If you guys are seeing this on replay, please hashtag replay on there. And if you guys are coined to CalJam, hashtag CalJam in the comments there. If you guys do want tickets, I know that Billy's having a little issue with his billing on the ticket form. So please email CalJam. What email can they send to if they want to buy tickets and they're on this live with us?
Just send it to kevin@caljam.org.
Okay. So, yeah, that kind of sorts out your debacle with your billing right now.
We just have a little federal thing going on with CBD stuff, and we kind of have to – it's just a whole nother debacle. It's all right. Every once in a while you got a little speed bump. It's okay. I've been through a lot. Like I said, we still got oxygen, dude. I'm fine, man. We're going to be okay. There's water. I got coffee, and I got food, and I got a roof over my head, and there's a beautiful Pacific Ocean, which I'm going to get in later. So I've got low battery coming up. What's my battery at? 6%. I mean, how much longer do you want to go?
We can go as long as you want to, 6%.
Keep talking.
So my next question for you, Billy, is if you weren't practicing anymore after 34 years, what would you do to stay connected to the chiropractic profession?
I know I would surf more. I'd probably move somewhere where there's not as much oppression, medical oppression, and surf and open up probably a multi kind of faceted clinic to take care of people with health issues.
Okay.
Without having the constraints of the FDA and all the bullshit that we have to deal with in this country, just like I'm dealing with credit card stuff. I mean, I know why it's going on. They don't want that. They don't want medical cannabis, and they're just doing everything they can to really disarm us. And I mean, you can't find anybody that's even will accept credit cards in that arena anymore. So it's either cash or check. So we're kind of, and since CalJam and we're all kind of interrelated, so we've got to get, it's not worth talking about, but we'll figure it out.
But you would get some type of a holistic wellness center.
Oh, yeah. Are you kidding me, dude? That's what I would do. I would go somewhere and it'd be full zenned out. I'd probably be in board shorts all day. And I probably wouldn't have a lot of employees either. I would do it with simplicity. I mean, and then I would make sure that I have afternoon to evening office hours. I've already got it planned out. I probably actually know where I'm going too. If shit hits the fan, which it may do. And then I would just practice very simple model, but just offer people different things that they could do, and kind of like what I do here. But I think it would be more where people would just kind of live the lifestyle and teach people, and then go to the beach with them and take them surfing and have us all eat together and stuff like that, and teach them how to live, and again, it would be where we would be. I'd have to find an area where there's no 5G, there would be clean water and abundance of healthy food that we could grow, and we would all go grounding and surfing and hiking and do stuff that really reconnects us to the planet and the resonance in the planet, which is very essential for healing, in my opinion. And that's mixing, I know, but I think, the world's different than when Dee Dee and BJ lived in it. We weren't spraying shit in the sky, and we weren't, I know you might think that's a conspiracy too. That's just because you haven't looked again. Like people get the vaccine thing, but they won't do that. It's just like, oh, they would never do that. They would tell us, right? Of course not. I mean, I know what's going on. And again, that's why I teach people detox. I got a detox workshop coming up in a few weeks. Don't do it. No problem. No skin off my butt. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't do it, you're going to be probably one of the statistics like in the UK where now, it's a leading cause of disease in the UK. So don't do it. Don't believe me. Don't read the package insert. I'd say. So it's called natural selection now, dude. You're going to be selected out of the gene pool because you weren't smart enough to figure this shit out. That's what I want to do, is teach people how to navigate the jungle. And we'll be in the jungle, and it's going to be somewhere warm, with warm water and a very big swell window. So I'll surf every day.
That's so cool, man.
Probably do that anyways.
So let's reel this back into CalJam 2020. Why should people show up, man?
For the love, man. I mean, that's what it's about. Like you said, like we were talking about this earlier, it's like you can watch stuff digitally. You can watch this right now, but when you're not there, it's like, for me, here's a good description when we figured this out before the show. It's like watching surfing on your computer versus actually going out and surfing yourself and feeling the exhilaration of actually doing it. You know what I'm saying? And there's a certain energy in the room. In fact, that's one of the things I learned at Dispenza this weekend, was that you can measure that energy, and when everybody's resonating and vibrating at it, that whole room, the energy explodes. And when you're part of that energy, you take that energy back. And that's why people go back to their practice and double and triple and quadruple their practices, because they now are more mission driven to really communicate on a level. At the same time, we have different subject matter to teach you things that you can do so you express at a higher level. Because the thing is, as a chiropractor, you want to take care of yourself, in my opinion. I mean, there's chiropractors that were my mentors many times that didn't take care of themselves, and they're no longer here. I feel that if you really do many of the things that we teach you, it's not like, it's not rocket science. It's just things that you need, like you brush your teeth and floss. Of course, chiropractic's at the pinnacle of the number one thing that people need to do, but there's other things I think we can do if you want to express at a higher level of your innate potential. And I think, like I said earlier, DD and BJ didn't have glyphosate, they didn't have geoengineering, they didn't have fluoridation. They probably did to some degree, but not as much as we have today. There's just so many different variables in life. They didn't have a cell phone that they stared at all day. And I've been talking a lot about that. So they didn't have hugely toxic water either. But there's so many things you can do to really express at a higher level. And that's one of the things I want chiropractors to come, get invigorated, but also go back, take some things that they can apply in their own lives for themselves and their family, so that they can stay as healthy as possible and express higher and take this message to the world.
You've made it to Chiro Hustle Live. Sit back and learn from the greatest influencers in the profession. This week's episode is brought to you by Close for Chiro, Legacy Wealth Management, Posture Screen, Imaging Services, Chiro Thin, Universal Tractioning Systems, Chiro Moguls, Zingit Solutions, Dr. Pete Goldman's Zone School of Healing, Everest Coaching Systems, Rhino Coaching, 5-Star Management, The Goodman Factor, Chiro Health USA, Bax Max, Mahalo Wellness, and Chiro Expert. Let's hustle.
So really, this is a health event.
That's what it is. And that's why the general public like to come to it too, because it's not like, I mean, I get it, man. Chiropractic is important, but how long? You can't talk 24 hours about, for me, I was reading the 33 Principles again last night. I just read that stuff over because it kind of connects everything. A lot of it has to do with like what I learned this weekend at Dispenza. It's all about the quantum world, and that's what the 33 Principles really gets into if you really dive into it. That this is a spiritual healing practice that we do, vitalistic. And again, we're seeing so much, the profession is straying more into a mechanistic Newtonian model where, back pain, which to me is like, God, if I had to be a back pain doctor, I'd be done a long time ago. I'm about the kids, man. They don't come to me with back pain. They never come to me with back pain.
Yeah, that's the thing I fell in love about chiropractic, because you guys are healers. And what I have learned after being in the profession for the past 10 years is that the healers have a problem getting along because of the egos and the dogma that they believe in.
Mhm.
And then the schools start getting bought out, and then state associations stop teaching real chiropractic messaging.
Don't even go there right now.
But I've seen it, bro. Like I'm a non-DC. If any of you guys are watching this,
you're the outside eye looking in and saying, hey, this is what's going on, whether you like. So that's why it's good to have a third party like you kind of checking shit out and actually calling us on our shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just easier for you because you're not a DC.
and
Sure.
chiropractors, the thing I think that they really struggle with is telling their story outside of their brick and mortar. Like I said earlier, like the chiropractor loves their brick and mortar because they feel safe and protected there, but that's also where they either sink or swim. And they do lose connection if they don't come back and meet with their brothers and sisters like at Cal Jam 2020. They die on the vine, and they don't understand what it is to like pour into a young student like you are. They don't understand what it is to live the chiropractic lifestyle. Like you said, some of your leaders and some of the people that you followed passed away early because they weren't taking care of themselves with the principal. And
Right.
that's really what I've felt over the past 5 years of going to Cal Jam, which is how many years are we on now? 12?
It's just 13. Like
13. Okay. So, I mean, I'm a late comer, but I do think that people that came to your Cal Jam at the first one, where was it?
It was the same place. I've been there for 13 years. I mean, when I first did Cal Jam, it was a big leap for me because it was a huge, that place isn't cheap to rent. That's like $100,000 before you even start talking anything. That's just to use the building. And then you got layer upon layer of a la carte items, including your whole entire staffing, everything from the lighting guys to the sound guys to the ushers to the security guards to the frigging emergency care. Now we've added security because of the issues 2 years ago when Big Brother got it. At the FBI had to be there. I mean, I think when you're pushing back hard, you're going to get resistance. Sometimes you wonder why you do it, but the thing is, you just do it because you stand up for something. This is like Martin Luther King paid the ultimate price because he stood up for what was right. And that's what I feel that I'm doing. And all I'm asking is that I get support from chiropractors and the chiropractic profession. It's not your bag. It's not your bag. But when they come knocking on your door and you didn't do anything about it, don't come crying to me. And that's what happens to a lot of people. They come crying to me about stuff. And I go, well, have you been part of the solution, or are you sitting home on your couch watching football, which is just another stupid distraction for people, while the whole machine takes over? I mean, that's what sport. I mean, I'm not anti-sports. I mean, I grew up watching football and baseball and all that shit, but I just feel people do more. They're more interested in that than the history or the future for their children. So, I mean, it's just like, you can watch some sports, but don't get to a point where that's consumes your life. You know what I'm saying? And I don't have time for it, man. I say to myself, I'm not into being a spectator anymore. I'm part of the game. I want to be in the game, and I want to be in the game as long as I can. And, it's what I do. I'd rather go surfing than watch some stupid guys run around and tackle each other, and then
One of the cool things you said there, Bill, is you started Cal Jam 13 years ago, but you actually established a blueprint for others to start doing spinoffs of Cal Jam, if you will, like the one in the Pacific Northwest with Paul Reed. The one out there in Oklahoma.
Right. I mean, they were influenced by being at Cal Jam. That was it's not only those, there's other ones too. I mean,
but it just made sense that it was like the proving ground for like proof of concept that you said, hey, if we do it this way, you guys can get attendance and we can start reinvigorating our tribe.
Right. And that's why it's good that we schedule them kind of different, because for me, I used to go to DE every quarter, and then I would go to Fred Schofield's every month. I mean, I was really into keeping this head straight when I was younger, and it's, you don't have as much certainty and confidence when you're younger. And maybe you do. I just maybe didn't, but I really benefited from going to both those programs. One for the philosophical benefits of really understanding true chiropractic, and because I never got that in school. And then I didn't know. I mean, if I would have known what I know today, I would have never went to LACC. I would have went to Life University, Life West, or Sherman. I probably would have actually gone to Life University But then again, I'm too far from the ocean. It'd be a tough call. But, and then I went to Fred Schofield really just to help me with just my head shit, and again, that's so important for chiropractors, that you've got to have your head screwed on right. You got to have total confidence and certainty. You got to own this stuff. And then once you get that, and plus the direction that his wife, Susan, helped us with, just practice management skills and things to do, because you don't learn any of that in school. You learn a bunch of stuff to help you pass the boards, which is good. I get that, but you don't really learn how to run a business. And I don't know if that's their job. Again, if I had a chiropractic school, I would make sure that my students were successful financially and they would want to give back to my school. I mean, you want alumni support. Well, dude, just make it so that the kids actually get out of school and they can friggin' thrive in practice. What's more? And again, I don't care if it's not part of the curriculum. You should offer it on your campus and have people come in and teach those concepts, And I'd also teach chiropractic at my chiropractic school. And I brought that up through a social media maybe a week ago or something. We need a real chiropractic school in Southern California, because the reason most people go to that school, in fact, there'll be a bunch of LACC students here. They come here once a week now and train. It's mostly through Dr. Austin that does this. But they're going to come tonight and listen to the workshop because they want to see things that they can do to really pull in their community. Like, I'll probably have 60 people here tonight, which is not bad. And 30 of those people will be people from the outside, which I'll probably flip 10 of those into being at least 10 of them at least to be new patients. So.
Well, it's cool. Bill, I love the fact that you're so free to speak on the profession. BJ said it the best. I think it's kind of a cool one, but I love you because you love the things that I love. And I'm not a DC, but when I first watched my first YouTube video of you, I was like, who is this guy? I have to meet him. And I just always looked up to your willingness to stand in front and to tell people what they need to hear, even though it might not be what they feel like is necessary for them at the moment.
Right.
5 years, 10 years time, they're going to be thanking you for doing the trailblazing that you've done.
Yeah, and again, I get thanks all the time, dude. It's not like, you get beat up a little bit. And like somebody asked me that. Somebody asked me that this morning. What do you do with all the criticism? I go, I actually thrive on it, to be honest with you. I mean, I really, if I'm not getting that, I'm not pushing it hard enough. I feel that it was one time, it was after one of the Cal Jams, Danny Constable, he came to me and goes, dude, I can't believe all the stuff they're saying in social media about you. I go, dude, it's just like water off a duck's back, man. That's why you read The Penalty of Leadership. You understand when you're doing something right, you're having a major shift, you're successful. People are just jealous, dude. That's all it is. I mean, if I wasn't doing shit, nobody'd be talking shit about me. You know what I'm saying? If you were just basically not doing anything, who's going to talk about you? I mean, I don't talk about people that aren't doing anything. I talk about things that really need to be talked about to really perpetuate the future of this profession. So,
well, I have a few people on here: Michael Daly, Dina Regans, Kat Sarah. Everybody's chiming in and making comments. I can't see all of them right now on my screen, but I just want to say thank you to everybody that has been on with us today.
Michael Daly said he's coming to Cal Jam next year. Hopefully he'll be there.
Oh yeah, let's bring the UK over.
Yeah. It'll be nice and warm, man.
Yeah, he'll love it. He might get a little bit of a sunburn.
Yeah.
But I just want to thank everybody for being on today. Go to caljam.org. If you can't buy tickets, go to kevin@caljam.org and send him a message or comment here in the comments here if you do want tickets, and we'll sort that out for you. Billy, it's great having you on today. Is there anything that we didn't discuss that you want to share with our audience today?
Yeah, music. That's the other reason you come to Cal Jam. If you don't like music, then stay home. Music really, like, I go to DE and I go, the only thing that would make me go to the next level as far as my energy would be some like really good rock and roll. Music's always been that for me. And music really is an anchor for all of us, where when you remember a song and you hear that song, you remember exactly the first time. I mean, there's so many songs that I like. When I hear that song, it brings back those same emotions in my body, you know what I'm saying? Whether it was your first kiss or, like I think of a song, The Ocean. I remember I was in Mexico the first night. It was a beautiful day, and I won't get into the whole details of it, but music is just the foundation of it. I mean, that's why we have the most amazing articulate speakers on every subject. Like we got Tony Bark this year. She's going to be talking about mushrooms, and we're going to be talking about psychedelic mushrooms. Hey, it's Woodstock, dude. And understanding the benefits to using it. We're going to have, hopefully I've got some great speakers speaking on cannabis this year. I mean, I really want to push it. And again, it's not chiropractic, I know, but the thing is, when you have all these different speakers, that's how I'm going to bring the general public in to hear amazing speakers on diverse topics. And of course, I'm going to have my friggin' chiropractors all. In fact, we start out right at the beginning with chiropractic and we crush it. And then we start to mix it up a little bit. And it's like a full batting order and orchestration and the beautiful dance that we do, which is between each speaker, we bring in some music to bring the level up. We bring it down. It's a full, like, choreographed process of just really uplifting people and transcending them. And then the whole thing with the parties and the gala, and the gala's going to be on Valentine's Day this year. And, bring your honey in and, come and enjoy California. It's a beautiful place to me. I don't know why people go to that skanky toilet, Vegas. Don't go there. Come to Cal Jam and support Vitalistic Chiropractic, and just come and love. That's what it's going to be. A lot of love there. Yeah,
I know. I was going to ask you a couple of to leak, like maybe one of the speakers that people would look for to come and see.
I've always resonated with Tony. She's got that kind of like cool hippie vibe to her. She's a goddess. She's from my generation, and she talked to me. I was speaking at the Truth About Cancer with her, which is an event I'm speaking at in September again, which is Ty Bollinger's event. And I talk chiropractic. That's all I talk about. I got it. I don't talk about anything else. I go in because that's where those people need to hear chiropractic. I'm saying amongst us, maybe you need to hear a lot of chiropractic, but I've heard it for 34 years, and I believe it, and I have 100% certainty in what I do in my practice. I just like to entertain other things. And I heard her, and she was talking to me how she was healing these people with PTSD and depression, all this end stage life. And then I got into reading Michael Pollan's book, which is How to Change Your Mind, which is an amazing book. And I took that journey, and again, it's how we can use plants and fungi to really help balance out people's endocannabinoid system and help balance, it just create more harmony in the body and push people more out of sympathetic dominance into homeostasis, where the healing happens. And it's just, I like to bring stuff that most people wouldn't bring to a chiropractic event,
Hey man, I love it. I've loved every single one of them. Right. I wouldn't miss one. And that's why I've been in like 100% crazy support of Cal Jam and the whole Cal Jam family and everything that you've done from the day one. I've caught like wind of you. I was like, I can't wait to interview this guy. And I mean, it was like 6 years ago. I met you out at a Paul Reed's event out at, what is it? Chiro Fest up there.
I'm glad you have those moments too, man. Cause sometimes I go, geez, I know I got a lot in my skull bouncing around all the time, but
yeah, but I was out there at Chiro Fest, and Luke and I flew out there. We did couch surfing. We didn't have any money, dude. Like we scrapped together. I cashed in my change to get plane tickets for us to go to Chiro Fest to make that movie, dude. We slept on a dude's air mattress I'd never met before, and we came down there with our gear. Luke's like, "How did you get your gear in there?" I'm like, "I don't know. I was on a mission." But that's when I first met you guys. I was so jacked up to meet you and to be able to interview you, because I knew that there was one person that could share knowledge with people that would help them. And I thought that was you. And like, I know that there's a reason why Cal Jam's so successful. And I know why you have resistance, because you find the points that make sense and then you amplify them. Right. And a lot of times people are okay with amplifying them and doing a screenshot and keeping it on their phone. But you're the type of guy that amplifies it and says, okay, we're going to have somebody come speak upon this. Right. And I think that that's a big decision-making skill. And when you said, I'm going to start talking about clean water, I'm going to talk about geoengineering, I'm going to start talking about glyphosate, however the hell you say that. But you said, I'm going to start bringing the amplifier to topics that matter, because it's not just about chiropractic anymore. It's about saving our planet. And when I heard you say that, that resonated to the core with me. And I do think that that's why I fell in love with chiropractic, because I saw everything else as kind of helpless, and they were misled. They were bought and sold, and they cared more about money than they cared about the people.
Right.
And I never found that with chiropractic. I
Let me
always
say
found
this in what you're saying. In my opinion, the chiropractic profession and our ADIO principles and our principles of love and what we've stood for, we're the only profession on the planet that really has the potential, because we have, I mean, with me and every one of our practices, every chiropractic practice, we affect literally, I'm going to say billions of people. I mean, because if you think about all the chiropractors, and I mean, I've had probably in my practice 20,000 new patients. Now you multiply that by all the chiropractors that are out there. I mean, I'm not sure what the number is, but it's a lot, okay? And, you know, then you can also look at your reach in social media. I've got 25,000 people that follow me on Facebook. It's all those things that contribute to us collectively. We don't need 100%, man. That's what I keep getting across to people. The tipping point's like 18%. And like, I think we're like at 16, 17. More and more people are waking up. And I just think, I know, because I have faith in the human race, that we can turn this thing around, because we're going to see that if we don't, things are going to get really ugly. And I think we're going to get to a point, like Bruce Lipton said, and I'm listening to his tape yesterday, we're going to get to a point where it's going to be irreversible. That's why we need to do this now. You know, this is not like kumbaya time. This is like when we played Rage Against the Machine before I spoke. We came out and we were out punching, and because the thing is, we need to rage against the machine. And if you don't think so, then go back to watching football. Next. That's what it is. Next. You don't like me? Okay, next. It doesn't matter. I'm going to get enough people in this army to change the direction things are going. And I have no doubt. I put that into the quantum. I focus. I mentally see it every day. I know what I'm talking about. And again, I'm not here to make, he says, I ain't going away, bro. I'm not going away. No matter how much you think I'm going to shut up, I'm never going to shut up, because I'm not going to shut up until we transcend to where we need to go.
And that's a Rage Against the Machine line there. If we don't take action now, we'll settle for nothing later.
Right.
And I love the fact that you stand up so strong, Bill. I know you have another one coming up here in about 5 minutes. So
yep.
Thank you for being my guest today on the Chiro Hustle live stream. If you guys found value in this,
you do. I mean, I'm really proud of what you're doing, to be honest with you. I mean, you really put the time in. And again, if there's things that we can do to help you, I think more chiropractors need to understand the work that you've been doing and how you're really getting more and more people on board. So I want to give my love and gratitude to both you and Luke. Again, it was great to hang out with you guys that one night, and you know, we should do that more often. And I wish I wasn't so busy at CalGym where I could spend the appropriate amount of time with you, but you understand what it's like.
Well, the thing is, man, is I really appreciate that, but we need to create more Jim Chesters out there. We need to get more people out there that are passionate about supporting chiropractic and being consistent with it. That's really why we've won the game, is because we've outpaced people, and we've stayed consistent with our messaging. And every day we make impressions to people. And I think that chiropractic has that ability to transcend the culture. And that's really why I put the time and effort into it, because I knew that there was one team I was going to start fighting for, and that was the natural healers of this world. And I really believe that growing up in Davenport, Iowa wasn't by chance.
Oh, it wasn't.
Me being able to be like within, shadows of Palmer College, I knew that me growing up in that area would one day amplify to something great. So, it's God's work as well. It's not just me doing this stuff, but I appreciate the kudos to what Luke and I are doing. I can't do it without my team as well. So thank you, all the Chiro Hustle team that supports what I do on a day-to-day basis. And just love you, Billy. I know that you're on in 3 minutes. So click on caljam.org and go click above. It's the first thing.
I think they can go there and just put their email in, and then we'll give them all the updates and everything. And as soon as we get up and running, which will probably be in the next couple of days, then we can buy tickets again.
Well, I'm going to close out by saying you guys are just one story away. Keep hustling. I'll see you on the next one, Billy.
Love you, bro.
All right, see ya.
Thank you for listening to Chiro Hustle Live. Don't forget to subscribe and check back next week to continue hustling.